Good afternoon, everyone. Looking back, obviously a really good team win on Saturday night and went through a lot of adversity and stayed the course and stayed in the fight and found a way to get a couple of stops in the fourth quarter on defense and forced a turnover and did enough to get Chris into field goal range. And like we talked on Saturday night, Chris, a very confident guy right now, and it was fun to watch him go with confidence and bang that through and then get the final stop. So we'll meet with the kids today, the players today, but the margin for error in college football is really small. I mean, it is razor thin between winning and losing, and that's why I'm so proud of the guys for staying in the fight like they did, because it wasn't going great at times, but we stayed in the fight and found a way, and happy we were able to get that done. And now we've got to turn our attention to Houston. Another road trip, third out of our 4 weeks in this stretch. Afternoon game, but it'll be a little warmer down there than what we're been accustomed to, so we've got to get acclimated to that and playing a day game, get acclimated to that. But they've won 2 of their last 3. I thought they played really well in the win against Utah, and I've got tons of respect, like you guys do, for Coach Fritz and what he's accomplished every place he's been, and I know he's going to get it done at Houston.
Let me start with how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks, Fitz. I think I had some virus or something probably Saturday and a little bit of Sunday, but I felt good this morning getting up, so all is good.
Team in terms of health.
We'll find out. We'll probably miss some guys early part of the week. Asa Newsom, we lost him for the season, unfortunately, with an injury. But some other guys that are probably hit and miss, but wouldn't rule anybody else out. But we're down a little bit at linebacker, losing Bo and Asa for the year. Some young guys have to be able to step up, and we're going to have to do some things with our package to help that position out.
You mentioned Houston's done some things well. The 2 games they've won, what exactly have you seen from them?
When they played KU at KU, they turned the ball over and got out of hand. When they played TCU at TCU, they didn't turn it over. When they played Utah at home, they didn't turn over and they won. And it's not any magic potion. You don't turn the football over and you play good defense, and I think they're playing good defense. You have an opportunity to be successful. They've been playing a couple of quarterbacks the last few weeks. This week they went with one in particular. I thought he played really well, really hurt Utah with the quarterback run aspect of it. And he also has a strong enough arm to beat you in the throwing game. But, we'll prepare for either of the quarterbacks, potentially Donovan Smith, who I think at Wells recruited at Tech, is on the roster and has played some this year. And we may see Donovan Smith as well. But, no, they're running the football well and playing good defense.
Going 1-0 seems pretty simple, but not every team does it, or else everyone would be undefeated. What's been the key these last 4 games, given that 1-0 mentality? Where does that mentality come from, and just how has this team adhered to that mentality?
Yeah, we kind of broke this season up into 3 parts, and we had their 5 games, and then we had a break, and then we had this 4-game stretch. And we never looked ahead once we got into that 4-game stretch. We had our open week. I thought we were able to get our bodies healthy and get some things accomplished, and then really attacked it one day at a time with you got to win Monday to get to Tuesday, and you got to attack Tuesday to get to Wednesday, and you got to continue to build each day. And have some of our Tuesday practices not been the best, accurate, but we've gotten better on Wednesday and fixed some problems, got better on Thursday. And then I would say our player ownership, and you can ask the guys about it. I think that I know that the ownership that the guys took, especially through the adversity we faced at Colorado, having a lead, losing the lead, and being down in that kind of an environment in the fourth quarter, and just watching those guys help each other, both sides of the ball. That helped us a bunch in that game in particular. And then, the adversity that we've faced and that the guys have faced during this 4-game stretch, or the 3 of the 4 so far, I think has made us really grow as a football team.
Also, that same vein, you talk about winning games, and this is a team that's been able to come back and be victorious, and just how the statistics show that this is a pretty decent team. Just how good is this team right now?
Well, we've been down in most games that we've had, and we get down 7-0 against Arizona. We get down 13-7, I think, against Oklahoma State. We were down in Colorado and so on and so forth. And our guys haven't panicked, and our guys stayed the course and stayed in the fight. And it's something that we've been preaching. The older guys have been preaching that kind of one play at a time. The next play, we can't do anything about what has happened. Now let's move forward. Same thing happened this week. We had a lead and lost the lead, and then found a way to keep chipping away and end up getting the lead and then not relinquishing it. And that's a collective effort by coaches, support staff, our players, our leadership. That it's a credit to our players, really, that they've stayed the course when we've had adversity.
What do you like the most about your offense right now, and where specifically would you like to make some more strides?
Balance is one thing that we've strived for, to be able to throw the ball effectively on any down and distance. That has been improving. So the balance is where we're getting better. The area that we need to improve in is we've been in too many 3rd and 7 and 8 plus. And for us to be able to be really successful, you're going to have to convert 3rd downs, but you need them at 3rd and medium or less, so that you can have your whole arsenal. We were able to hit one run, I think, on 3rd and 12 last Saturday with Dylan, which you don't have happen very often. You can pop them on 3rd and 5 and get some runs, as well as throw quick game, as well as throw drop back. That's an area we have to be better. We always talk about win early to win late. We've got to win early, meaning we've got to win the early downs on 1st and 2nd down, so we don't get into those 3rd and longs.
He's playing right now. How much does Damian Ilalio mean to your defense?
Yeah, huge. He's one of the best leaders we have on defense as well. He's played a lot of football for us. He made the play on the safety. A lot of guys made the play on the safety. We hit our fits and really hit them fast. But that was a pivotal point of the game, and he's playing at a high level. He's understanding what offenses are doing. He's a really smart player, and helping out the other defensive linemen of things that he sees or things that he hears, and bringing them to the sideline. But it's fun to watch Damian play at the high level he is, because he's playing at an all-conference level.
Chris, you guys have really relied on the blitz in key defensive situations, especially late in games this season. Why is that? Why do you think that's been a good strategy for you guys?
Well, we have guys that can rush the passer at defensive end and even inside. But it helps those guys when we can bring some interior pressure, because then they're getting some more one-on-ones. And I think Coach Klieman did a really good job this past weekend and we've done it a couple of times, of holding something till later and not showing everything you have in the first 3 quarters, but saving something for the end that maybe an offense hasn't seen yet. And we were able to do that on Saturday night with a couple of what we would call weak blitzes, and we'd been blitzing off the strong side the whole game, and then we brought it from the weak side to try to maybe confuse or get them to turn the protection the other way, and that happened for us, so that we made him get rid of the ball a little bit earlier, and that's a credit to our staff and Coach Klieman for kind of holding that in his pocket.
How good do you think Marquis Sigle see in the field right now?
He sees it really well. He's always seen the game really well. It's not even the field. He just sees the game really well. He knows what top plays people run based on splits, based on formations, based on backfield sets, based on a lot of different things. And where Siegs is doing such a great job is sharing those thoughts with whether it's younger or inexperienced guys that are playing for us of what to look for. And he's always one on the sideline that's continuing to encourage offensive guys, encouraging D linemen to keep the pass rush going. This was a week where it was hard to get sacks because the Daniels kid is such a talented guy, and he just gets rid of the ball, or he's strong enough to get out of an arm tackle, so to speak. And so Siege's doing a great job of being a great leader, but also commanding his spot.
One more thing, you guys have faced a couple teams now who've really gone out of their way to try and eliminate DJ Giddens in the running game. How do you think your offense has handled that?
I would say that's an area we need to improve on. And the difference, we were able to crack a few big runs on Saturday, and we didn't do that as well against West Virginia. But I know DJ got one for 50, Dylan got one for 30 or something, somewhere in there. We were able to crack a few of those. We were able to utilize quarterback run, which was a big deal for us this week, to get Avery back going. But some of it is communication and some of it is technique. And give KU a lot of credit for their scheme, for their plan, for how well their guys played. When we struggled, it was as simple as our technique was really poor. And so we have to be able to shore that up as we get into November. We've got to play with better technique across the board.
I know the Houston season probably hasn't gone as great as they want it to be, but they still have some of those same, I guess, identity points that a Willie Fritz team has with the fact that they're competitive down the stretch. What makes a Willie Fritz team tough to play from your experience?
Well, it's just well coached, and they're not going to beat themselves. And I just kind of watch what I've watched through the film, and you see a team early in the season that was trying to find an identity, and then as the season has gone, has found that identity as far as being able to rush the football, being able to stop people from running the football. And playing really well within the systems. And trust me, I know how hard it is to implement a system. It doesn't always show up right away. But if you're a really good leader and a really good motivator like Willie is, and you keep preaching the same thing and having the same messaging, all of a sudden it starts to stick more and more. And you can see that over the last handful of weeks, how much more confidently they're playing.
Avery Johnson, with his ability to recover from some of the mistakes that happened during the game and keep playing at a high level. How has his mindset changed from week one to now?
Well, it doesn't change, in my opinion. He's an aggressive kid. He's a competitor. He's calm. He doesn't get rattled when things happen. I think I said it on Saturday. Both quarterbacks are phenomenal players, and both are going to make mistakes when you play that aggressively. And, I'm never going to rein Avery back in, let him play, because that's when he's at his best, is when he's playing free and not worried about making a mistake. He's his own worst critic as far as when he does make a mistake. But I also know that I'll keep giving him the football because you want it in his hands.
Chris, Tennant has had his ups and downs in his career, but he's made some big kicks even prior to that kick on Saturday. But specifically, do you remember where he was at after the TCU game 2 years ago when he missed a couple of kicks and then he was essentially benched?
I think it'd be better for Chris to tell that story. But I know it was probably a low point for him. But the makeup of Chris Tennant and the competitor of Chris Tennant, and I'm telling you guys, that kid's going to be one of the most successful guys in life. And I've seen him grow from the time he's gotten here till up until this last year, and absolutely love what he has made of himself, what he has endured, and he's coming out on the other side. But I think it'd be a better story told by Chris. And I said it on Saturday. I believe in that kid. He knows I believe in him, and I've said that to him on many occasions. But watching him the last month kick the ball on Tuesdays and Thursdays are the main days or Mondays and Thursdays the main days Tuesday, Thursday the main days we kick him. He's kicking at a really high level, and it's fun when you hear the pop and you see it come off his foot of how confident he is.
The last, I think, 4 games now that you've really switched the turnover margin around. Is there been any one one thing there that's stood out, or is it just you've gotten better?
Yeah, Arnie, I think they come in bunches sometimes, and I think that when you're struggling with it, you're pressing so much, and all of a sudden one happens, and then you get another one, and make no mistake, our success is we're in the plus category. Not only we're in the plus category on turnovers, but we're in the plus category on fourth down conversions, whether we're going for them or we're trying to defend them. And over the last X amount of weeks, we've been in the plus category on both of those, and those are just like turnovers. If we're going for it on fourth and 1 against Arizona on the first drive, and we get it stuffed right back at us, we might as well have just fumbled the thing. So the fourth down conversions and the true turnover margin are things that we emphasize, and our kids know are so valuable and so important into being a successful team.
Your tight ends have done an excellent job of carving out space, especially in the end zone.
Yeah.
What, I guess, is it just the fact that they're just big-bodied guys? What goes into being able to do that so well?
Yeah, chemistry with the quarterback, running really crisp and good routes, being all 6'5" and 6'6", with big bodies, and the threat of quarterback run and the threat of the running backs. When you have to put more guys up, you can play man-to-man on a wide receiver, and either you win or you don't win. When you're playing man-to-man on a tight end, and that tight end's also in the run fit and is blocking to show run, which we did with Oakley, which we did with Ancio on his touchdown, it's hard. I know from a defense perspective, Coach, he blocked. He was in it, and all of a sudden they release. That's really difficult, and they have really good timing and patience to do that. But it's been fun to see. But we've got to be close to leading the country in touchdowns with tight ends. It's fun to watch because we added another 2 on Saturday, so they're playing really well.
You've talked about in the past, and then especially after the game on Saturday, how close of friends you are with Coach Leipold. How has that developed? I mean, that has to be fairly unique around the country, rivals being that close.
We both had to work our way up. More than anything, we both worked our tail off to be in the position that we're in. Nobody handed us anything. I think there's great respect of knowing how hard it is to win at any level, and you win at the lower level. You're also not just the football coach. You're a lot of hats, and so I think that's where the respect starts for sure. Is the fact that we both have done it at a high level. At a level below, and there's a chip on both of our shoulders that, can you do it at the higher level? And hey, I'll be honest with you, Deion Sanders is not much different. Coach Prime, he was at Jackson State, and I'm sure, and I've talked to Prime about this, about that chip on your shoulder of can you do it at the next level? Well, football's football, and I've been saying that since December or whatever it was of 2018 when I sat in here. That football is football. And if you can motivate and you can teach and you can be there for guys and rally the troops, you can coach this game. And Lance has done that at a really high level, and just appreciate some of the talks that we've had.
You probably just described Willie too, did you not?
Absolutely, 100%. Competed against Willie. He doesn't like it, but we competed against Willie in the FCS championship game couple times when he was at Sam Houston, and watching his evolution from junior college to what he did at Central Missouri to what he did at Sam to what he's gone boom, 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 step after step. And I was so excited. I remember sending him a note when he got the job at Houston, for him to get that opportunity. He earned it. I mean, man, did he earn it for what he did at Tulane and what he did at Sam and what he did at all the other places he was at. But to have that opportunity to go coach Power 4 football. He's one of the best coaches in college football, and you can see his prints all over that program. And they're already good, and they're going to continue to improve and improve.
I wanted to ask you with the tight ends about Ancio. Has he taken even another step in the last couple of weeks or so?
Yeah, and part of that is we've been down Lofton. Now Lofton played a little bit, and we hope to get Lofton back even more. You take all those practice reps. We've held Oakley back a little bit. We've held Swanee back a little bit. Swanee because he's a vet, and Oak because of some injuries that he's had. So he's taken more and more of those reps. Andrew Metzger's in the same boat, just hasn't been able to crack the lineup, but he's taken all those reps, and he's getting better and better. And so when you do that and you go against Mott and Stuff and Jordan Allen and Cheedy and all those guys, you get better because you got to compete your tail off at practice. And so I've been really pleased with Will, and I can see the confidence growing with him.
Coach, when you recruit as high as you do in state, how important is continuing to get those wins in the rivalry game?
You know, it's important for a lot of reasons, not just the recruiting. That's a piece of it. Now, Taylor Bratt was in here. That's the biggest piece of it. The former players, the alums, the fan base. I know how big of a game that is for the K-Staters, and none of us in this building ever want to let them down. Now, you know, you still got to play really good football, and you can't get caught up in all that stuff that you have to execute at a high level. And we executed at a high level for a good chunk of that game, and then we executed really poorly. And when you execute poorly, I don't care who you play, you're going to get exposed. And we had some things that we have to address that I thought KU really exposed us on.
Could you kind of describe what the moment was like in the locker room for those Kansas kids to walk away with a win there?
You know, I won't just say the Kansas kids. The moment in that locker room for everybody associated with our program, with the work you put in, as well as the adversity you face, to have that opportunity to win that game, win any game at home, but win that game at home is pretty special. And I'd hate to just signal out the Kansas kids. I know how important it was to them, but I also know how important it was to everybody in that locker room that battled that night.
Timing out his blitz and hitting the next gear on his pursuit on that final defensive play, how good was that by VJ Payne?
I know he hit like 21 miles an hour or something. He was rolling, and VJ can fly. And he was probably mad he didn't get the sack, so he had to chase him down. But when I saw him coming, and he and Austin were somewhat clean, they got bumped, but they were somewhat clean, and I saw him scrambling out to the right, and I saw VJ chasing. Not very many people are going to outrun VJ Payne, and we were end up getting the pursuit there, but great play by VJ. And VJ's playing at a high level, and I know there's more in VJ, and I tell him that because I truly believe in that kid. He played as a true freshman in a Big 12 championship game. How far has he come with his experience and his level of play and his awareness, and how much it means to him? That play was a huge play, and I think it's going to even continue to add confidence to VJ's game.